The Lobster is a movie by Yorgos Lantimos, and I have to admit, I rarely laughed so much in my life. Like, when I was seeing this movie, I was like constantly crying because I loved so much. It's a brilliant play in between the notions of need and necessity of partnerships, and I saw so much of that in myself that I had to make an episode about it. Because it's drafted so well in between these two notions that it creates fantastic jokes all over this movie. And to explain the basic premises, the movie is criminalizing to not have a romantic partner. So as soon as you do not have a romantic partner, you're hospitalized. And if you're there, like in the hospital, are not finding your new perfect partner, you're gonna be transformed in an animal. And there we have our title, The Lobster. Our protagonist wants to be a lobster if he's ever not able to find a new romantic partner. I'm Attila, your host, and you're listening to Movie Prosecutioners. Let's go. Like, the obvious problem that is now created in a society where you're obligated to have a partner is the one that you cannot really choose it. Like, you have to choose as fast as possible so that you're not criminalized. And so you're gonna go for the next person that sounds like fairly okay. And actually, the movie portrays that in an hilarious way. So they actually make one of the people like trying to get close to a woman, where he's like kind of, deforming his own character to fit her, what she needs, what he believes she needs. And this is like, she's a psychopath, so she's doing like crazy shit things, and you're just watching and enjoying. But in general, you can get that back to like what people do in real life in our society. Like, obviously we are not trying to get out of prison and therefore deforming ourselves to so that other people can believe we're psychopath as well. But we do change for partners that we have or had, or we had, like adapting to a form they behaved so that we're not feeling too off with being with them. And I think there is a need of a healthy balance in that, because obviously you have to accept certain changes in your life. And I think some changes I did in my life, because I was in a relationship, are really good changes. Like, I started to go out more, I started to talk more to people, and started to, like, even if I didn't like the people, I was like formal and acceptive and open, so that maybe these people are not interesting for me at the first glance, but then they're actually, like, after a few weeks and after a few meetings, they're actually interesting for me. So I started to rethink my kind of way how to like encounter and how to stay with people, because of a partner that I had, which was like not able to say no to nobody. So she did like everything, and like 24/7 a day she was on the road to kind of do her people pleasing that she did all her life, that like the life that I know. And I think I did the sort of positive transition towards something that was already in me, but less than was before. I was hurt very much in my life, so I was not trusting people after middle school. But in high school, I had this like really great partner, which made me open up again to people, and I think it's very, very beautiful that happened. And obviously, always if you go into a relationship, you kind of take something from the other and kind of give something for the other. Like you're exchanging certain habits. Like, some girls I've been out with took over my jokes, and I was kind of weird for me, like sometimes, but it kind of got into me, and I was like, kind of, yeah, cool. Like, she's enjoying that as well as I do, and so we both like take steps towards each other. That's like the beautiful thing about relationships, is that you have like this kind of very deep exchange in your life where you're like learning from each other. And I think this is like the really positive and interesting aspect of being in a relationship. But the thing I ask myself a lot is if there's like actually moments in my life where I'm like extremely happy and I'm not with somebody. I actually listened to a pop song from Miley Cyrus. It's called Flowers, and there she's singing about giving herself flowers because she can be with herself and doesn't need a partner. And I was like thinking, okay, do I actually would like buy myself flowers? Would I like appreciate myself that much? And I think I appreciate myself, but I do like me and being myself even a little bit more if I have the security of a person I'm in love with and that is in love with me. And all of my, like, when I was traveling, the coolest places were places, maybe it was not a romantic love, but like kind of a great attachment to somebody I met there. So the places that I think of the coolest in all my travels were always places where I met somebody new, somebody who like showed me the place, somebody I could experience with like the place, and so I could like, I don't know, enjoy it in more detail than I would have if I would have just been a tourist with a camera somewhere wandering around for 1 week, living in a hotel and not having really contact with locals. And this kind of connection with locals and people were always like kind of my grounding, kind of the way where I was thinking like, okay, this is now enjoyment what I have because I met somebody new. And obviously it's like less and less with age, ha ha ha, ni na na, but it's like kind of these wonderful butterflies in your stomach that you have when you meet somebody new, when it's exciting. And I don't know, ironically, this kind of feeling is like addictive, and you want to have it again and again, but it doesn't come like when you want it to come. And the real question here that I ask myself is this necessary that I am with other people? Is this like the only way I can enjoy it? And actually, while I was writing this episode, I was like clicking on ChatGPT and I was asking like, hey, ChatGPT, what's up? You know, I have a little problem. I have the feeling like the only moments that I am happy is when I'm with other people. What kind of activities or what kind of moments have people where they're happy without having other people? And to be honest, ChatGPT gave me a lot of examples and I was like kind of impressed, and I was also thinking like, how could I not think about that while I was writing this episode? Because it gave me like reading a fantastic book, go jogging, do sports in general, like watching a good movie, I don't know, listening to music, everything in creative arts like wood craftsmanship, I don't know, painting. So he counted so many things that I was like, okay, how could I be so stupid to be like encaged in this like thought that I'm only happy when I'm with other people? And obviously it's coming from this kind of idea that the most happiest moments in my life were with other people, and that so much of my experience is by meeting other people. There's a saying, like a French podcast about startups use it as its like catchphrase at the beginning: you're the sum of the people you have met. And I do not believe that, because like experience that you have with other people can they can be weighted in a very different way. Some people you remember very hard, some people not, and so it's obviously not just a sum, but like a maybe weighted sum of experience that you have in your life. That's what you are, and meeting people is just another experience. But I think it's giving like an interesting picture of how a lot of people perceive who you are and what your life is about. And obviously I had my good amount of problems with these kind of thoughts of, okay, how can you be alone, not lonely, and kind of happy? Because there's like a reason why a lot of people use hobbies is meeting friends, because it's kind of an activity where you have a great enjoyment in your life. And the question here is, do you need it to be happy? Do you need this form of joy to be happy in your life? And yeah, good question. Like, historically speaking, partnership had a certain necessity. So you need to create offspring. You need to create it with a family that has a certain name and can secure your future. And you have to have offspring, because when you get old, there's somebody who takes care of you, and you're not fucked up when you not be able to work anymore. And this is what made it what made it a necessity to have family. Like, it was kind of a social construct and a way to survive. Today, you have neither one of them. Today, marriage is a partnership of love. And it's still a contract, like if you separate after marriage, you're like 50-50, is split all your assets. So basically, it's still a contract. But normally you go into it because of, like, I don't know, it's tradition or it's love. These, I think, are the two main reasons why you go into a marriage right now. It's like, okay, I'm now at this point of my life, all of my friends getting married, blah 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 blah. But yeah, that's kind of how life, and no, not life, but marriage is perceived nowadays. And so there's nobody who thinks nowadays you have to get married. But the idea that you get a good partner, at least with people that I know, is a very much like ingrained idea that's still there. You want to have a partner, you want to have, like, I don't know, be together and be strong together and have each other's back. And this kind of beautiful idea of a partnership is what I as well see as an ideal of how I want to grow old and how I want to, like, be when I'm older. I want to have a partnership. I want to be happy. Maybe I have kids, maybe not, but I know I have someone who has my back, and I'm there for this somebody to have hers or his back, or thei's back. And yeah, that's kind of where I am, what I'm looking at. And I just have to say, The Lobster is like a fantastic movie to enjoy reflection about it in the same minute as, like, enjoy really dark humor. It's like so hardcore, and it didn't even talk about what terrorists are in this world, where it's criminalized to have not a romantic partner. So enjoy. It's really funny. And yeah, I hope this episode brought you joy as well and takes you to the path of happiness, with or without a partner. And that's me. I'm happy you tuned in, and see you next time. Bye.